I don't know your name. What's your name? We have Jackie doing the interpretation here today. Big round of applause for Jackie.
Bravo, Jackie!
So, is Mom and Dad here? They're not here yet. Socializing in the hallway, I'm sure. Just want to make sure that Mom and Dad were here and they're safe and got to introduce them, but they're probably still up in their room, if you know what I'm saying. I know them. Thank goodness for 57 Chevys, or else I wouldn't be here, guys. They're not here to defend themselves. Today is all about the business, and you know the whole intention of our itinerary is to opening night. Your first impression is, you know, who we are, what runs through our veins in terms of our community service, the inspiration, all those sorts of things. And of course, in the middle is the product that's there to build confidence. It's there for you to build more belief. It's belief building. And then today is the last impression we want to leave on you, and that is go out. Get dirty, roll up your sleeves, build your business, get a little primal, use your tools, and get after it. Tomorrow is the U of U. That's what we call our product development. And I think those of you who are going to be attending the U of U will be blown away tomorrow. It's going to be very, very special. Yes. So the first thing I usually like to do when we kick off the business is tell a quick little story. Several years ago, when I was putting myself in the shoes of a person who's looking at our industry for the very first time, and maybe there's some people here in the room today who still don't fully understand our industry, don't fully understand why nearly 50,000 people a day join this industry. And most of the time, the people who don't understand, it's just more ignorance. It's not bad people or good people. They just don't understand. They think it's a pyramid scheme or something like that. A pyramid scheme, by legal definition, is passing money around, okay? That's illegal. We don't do that. We pass power strips around, okay? It's the closest thing to money I've ever seen, actually. So, and Brenda was giving the numbers yesterday. We've sold, I think, close to 40 million power strips, single power strips, yeah. So pretty crazy. So what happens is, I was sitting there thinking one day, going, man, if I could just ever do a video that speaks to that critic and gives them the same belief that we have in this industry, what would that video look like? So I called the video Residual Eyes, or Residual Eyes, and it was the ability to see the difference between linear income, where you're trading hours for dollars, and residual income, where you invest sweat equity, where you put your effort and value into your business. And so here's what came up. We got a film crew, and we got in a motorhome, and we just went out and started filming the working class. And we started asking just strangers, have them sign a waiver or release, you know, tell us about your job. So the first thing we did is we went to people who work on a time clock. How many people, by show of hands, have worked on a time clock here before? I have. Hated it, okay? And so we picked these strangers and we said, hey, what do you like about working on a time clock? Just tell us the things you really, really like. Anybody want to take a stab at what they said? Going home. I like that. You need to move to the front. Well, actually, you don't need to. Love it. Yeah, going home. What else? Predictable income. They had a job, and they were providing for their family. And guys, this was in no way to belittle anybody who works and provides for their family, who contributes to society. It was in no way. It was just an observation to find out how that works. So they're talking about they like the paycheck, they like the predictability, and they like going home, right? And that was about it. So then we asked the same people, what do you not like about working on a time clock? Anybody want to take a stab at that? Everything. Thank you. The time clock. They felt like they were being herded in like sheep or cattle. And if they didn't, one mother said, if I go down the street to my daughter's play, I won't get paid and I'll probably get fired. So just by being a good mother, by virtue of being a good mother, I could lose my job. So it was interesting. You guys all know pretty much what their answers were. I don't have to explain it in great depth. So we went to the other side of town, to the corporate world, where the people work on salary. And it was funny because I always joke, you know, we got to that district and it was lunchtime and they were all wearing their little white suits and ties and they were walking like 6 ducks, you know, going to lunch, you know, and they're all wearing the same exact everything. And they sat down and we asked them, hey, can we interview you guys, ask you some questions? They said, sure. So what do you like about working on salary in a corporation? What do you think they said? Paycheck? Benefits? Stability, benefits, time off. Okay. I want to work for that corporation, right? They liked playing dress up every day. It was never my thing, by the way. They liked the benefits. They liked the prestige, that they felt important. One guy says, you know, this company, they think I'm worth $42K a year. Well, congratulations to you, you know. And they went on and on and on. They were telling things. They liked the camaraderie. They liked, you know, all those little things. They felt more important. They liked the salary, etc. Then I asked the same people in a corporation, what do you not like? And they just let it out. What do you think they said when they didn't like in corporations? Just keep going because you're all helping each other here. Yeah. Right, they were saying they didn't like the longer hours, they didn't like the number one answer, by the way, was politics. That somebody who's working really hard gets made fun of, and somebody who's got their nose strategically placed is getting all the promotions, right? And they were just, I mean, they were passionate about this. One guy said the job security. He says, I spent 22 years working my way up this company, only to find out that they hired somebody for half my price who was half my age. So there's not, the security question comes up when you're talking about corporations. So you get the gist of it. So the funnest part of this interviewing process is we went to the American dreamers, the entrepreneurs, the ones who started the businesses in the community. We went to dry cleaners, donut shops, taco shops, hamburger stands, pizza parlors, gas and goes, and we asked the owners, hey, how much did it cost to start your business? And they would tell us. And then we would ask the person at the pizza parlor, how many pizzas a day roughly do you have to make to break even? And they would say, oh, 200-300 pizzas a day. How many tacos a day do you have to make to break even? Oh, 150 to 200 tacos a day. How many burgers do you flip a day to break even? Oh, roughly 400. How many pieces of clothing do you have to clean and iron to break even in your dry cleaners? Oh, about 200 pieces of clothing a day to break even. And I was sitting there going, wow. And I was like, hey, high five to you for the hard work that you do to provide. But I ended up that day at a gas and go. And I said to the gas and go, I said, hey, how much did it cost to start your gas and go? He said, roughly $1 million. I said, oh, break that down for me. He said, first we had to buy the land. Then we had to get all these permits and things and engineers and the blueprint and all these things, and we got all that done. Then we laid out the cement, the asphalt, the gas pumps, the building, cookers, poppers, freezers, fryers, cash registers, security cameras, on and on and on. And he goes, oh, I also had to get my inventory for my gas and go. So picture yourself with me in that gas and go, and you look at the inventory. What specifically do you see? Junk? What else? What do you smell? Chili dogs, I know. What's above the cash register? All right, so you see chips and candy, beer and pop and cigarettes, and they've got like 800 SKUs in this little gas and go, and I'm like, wow, how much of this stuff do you have to do every day to break even? He says, oh, you know, probably roughly 1,000 or so. He said, depends if I'm here or not. And I said, well, what was your vision for your gas and go? He said, my vision was to, quote, pull in every day in my Mercedes, pick up the bank drop, and go drop it off at the bank. That was my vision. I said, well, how's that working for you? He says, I live here. And he looked horrible, horrible. And so I'm sitting there thinking, man, And I said, dude, you're a better man than me, because this guy was married to the gas and go, and he was providing for his family, and I honor and respect that. But as I went through this process of hourly, salary, these American dreamers who are doing all this work, it just made me smile for what we do. Because a lot of people don't understand what we do. So here's how it goes. Let's say you check out foreverGreen, FG Express, and you're like, you know, I think I want to start a home-based business. Well, guess what? From a tax perspective, do it. Many tax experts will tell you, I don't care if you open a lemonade stand, get a home-based business just for the tax benefits, number one. Okay, number one. Number two, people, you doing okay? Okay, I just remembered somebody's trying to do all this. And, how do you say, and, I just want to make sure there was a sign language for and, because I say that a lot, okay? So, So you go to a meeting and you hear all this, you're like, I think I want to do this. So you sign up and you're like, yes, I just started my own international business that brings the power of the global economy to every doorstep. I just got my own business. So you're like, going, yeah, I got my own. Then all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute. This is no fair. You got to stand in front of me. So, she is the cockiest interpreter I've ever seen. So I'm curious, how do you say cockiest? Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to remember that one. This is going to be funny. I'm not going to think about this anymore. Okay. So, can I borrow your chair for a minute, please? For real? Thank you. You're going to have to sit down. No, I'm kidding. So, they've got their new business, and now you're all looking at her. Come on, you guys, be nice. Put the eyes on the money here, okay? Here we go. Oh, thank you. I'm such a gentleman. I'm so sorry. I needed a chair. Okay, so they join and they're all perplexed because they're like, this is no business. Where's my sign? Where's all this and all that? Where's my location? Where's all the materials? Where's all the employees, etc.? You're like, this can't be a business. Then it dawns on you, oh, I've got to get my inventory. So you go online and you order your inventory. And depending on what part of the world you live in, you wait for it, okay? And when it finally, you're waiting and waiting and you're so excited, and all of a sudden you look out the window and there's a big 18-wheeler diesel backing into your driveway. And oh, there's my multi-million-dollar business. And you're just all excited. You put on your work gloves because you're going to help unload the inventory. And you run out to the driveway and the truck backs in and you open up the back with anticipation. You open up the back and all you see is one envelope. This is my business. So you take your gloves off and you bring it in and you open it and you set it on the kitchen counter underneath the track lighting. Ooh. And you start to admire your new business. You start strutting like, you know, people thought I was going nowhere in life. Look at me now. And about 10 days pass and you're like, And then you realize about 2 weeks into it, it hasn't moved. 20 days pass and you're like, oh, I am so stressed. 25 days, you go in the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you're like, I must have sucker written across my forehead. I have been ripped off. I cannot believe I bought that listed medical device thing. On the medical device listing, those power strips that are all natural. I cannot believe I've suckered into that. And it hasn't even moved. And you've done nothing. 30 days pass. Literally, this happens, by the way. People are like, that was way too hard. I think I'm going to quit. Man, that was a hard business. So they have a pity party, and they open up their inventory, and they're like, oh, that was way too hard. I think I'll put one of these on my broken heart. And they realize in that very second that they're still in business. Can you imagine if I went to the Gas and Go guy and said, hey, I'm a Gas and Go consultant. I got it. Eat all your inventory. He would kick me out thinking I was nuts. But here, when your inventory arrives, you can give it out. You can sample it. You can give it to charity. You can use it. You can put it over your children's, whatever you want to do. The software doesn't care. It just pays people. And Brenda told you, we almost paid $50 million during our pre-launch to you. Okay?
Bravo!
Bravo!
Yes!
So the magic of our industry, guys, is get over to all the big what big mountain? The only big mountain that you refer to is the one you created for yourself. This is no big mountain. This isn't even a speed bump. So when a lot of people do a little, everyone wins. And that is what I love about this industry. I love that already in our business during pre-launch, we've created millionaires in our business. I love that. During pre-launch, based on this philosophy. So guys, I'll just tell you, remember this presentation when you start creating your own mountain for yourself? That's just your interpretation. This isn't even a speed bump. Find something to do with power strips. Find something to do with your product. Find something to do with your new farmer's market to exploit it, because you are the source of your success. This is not a free lunch. This is not get in line. This is not a lottery. At the end of the day, this is hard work, but when everyone does a little, everyone wins. And it doesn't matter if you work part-time, full-time, or all of the time, every bit counts. Make your time count. That's how the business works, guys.
Bravo, Ron! Bravo!
Where are you on the face of the clock dial? Maybe a question you never heard or contemplated. Where are you on the face of the clock dial? 12 o'clock, high noon, that's when last year was the best year in your life. The best year in all respects, physically, emotionally, relationship-wise, financially, all of it. Best year in your life, and next year looks better still. High noon people. The truth is I don't meet too many folks who are at high noon, because why would you change? I typically meet and interact with people who are looking for change. High noon, that's when last year was the best year ever and next year looks better still. What's 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock is when something's changed and only you know. Your husband or your wife might not even know, but you know something has changed. Now I'll describe to you an idea of what it means to be 3 o'clock. I have a good friend that's an airline pilot, and I remember a number of years ago when, as a result of being a part of the pilots' union leadership, he knew in advance that there was about to be a big layoff at his particular airline. And so it looked to the world like everything was great with Doug. But what Doug knew that no one else knew was that something had changed. 3 o'clock is when something's changed, and you know it, but no one else does. Now, in this group of video clips, we talk about a variety of things, one of which is how to succeed most quickly and create the most long-term lasting success in direct selling in FGX, as a matter of fact, in foreverGreen and FG Express. 3 o'clock. If I'm catching you at 3 o'clock, please pay attention. Your entire circle of influence will listen to you based on the vision that you're at high noon. If I call you and it's perceived that I'm at the top of my game, then I'm calling you and your perception is, wow, Randy's got something for me. 3 o'clock is a magic moment. What's 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock's when something's changed and it's become evident to others. Remember, at 3, I knew that there was going to be a massive layoff at my company, but the world did not. At 6, it hit the newspapers and I myself was a part of the layoff. You see what a huge difference it is? I call you to talk about a secondary income source, a business opportunity, FG Express, and you know that I just got laid off. Is it not true that you'll receive the message differently than had I contacted you at 3 or at high noon? My message to you is this: if you're so fortunate to be at high noon, wake up. I wish I could leap through the airwaves and grab you and shake you just a little bit in a kind and loving way, because here's what I know: the hands on the clock dial never stand still. They move. Things change. Life changes. People change. Experiences change. If you're at high noon, what a magic moment to act. If you're at 3 o'clock, act quickly, because the clock is ticking and the hands will move. What's 9 o'clock? Noon was when everything is as good as it can be and it looks like it's going to get better. 3, something's changed. You know it, no one else does. 6, something's changed and the world's become aware of it. You know what? If you're at 6, I have great news for you. Great news. There is a proven and predictable pattern of activities that will allow your success to be predicated on the strength of the opportunity itself, not based upon your current moment of travail. What's 9 o'clock? Well, 9 o'clock is when something changed and it became evident to others. We didn't act quickly enough, and today things are chaotic. The house is in foreclosure, our husband or wife has left, or our relationship's in trouble. We're probably drinking too much, if that's part of our character. And the world, frankly, is not as kind as we might hope. There are not so many people willing to give us a helping hand as there are willing to talk about us and contemplate what we might have done differently. 9 o'clock's a tough time. If this is you, if you're at 9 o'clock, what I would tell you is this: I've been at 9 o'clock before. In fact, it took me a while to learn these life lessons that I'll describe in this series of video clips, and I've been around that clock dial a few times. If you're at 9 o'clock, don't be one of those that falls into the fetal position. Say, not me, not now, I'm coming back, and take aggressive action. Now, I have some really, really important news for you. It takes something very, very powerful to stop the hands on the clock when they're moving the wrong direction. You found such a thing. You'll learn more about foreverGreen and FG Express. It is the kind of opportunity that makes it possible to freeze that negative motion on the clock dial and actually move the hands back the direction you want them to go. I have better news still. We'll only know looking back. I can't know yet, but I believe that I've learned how to always live my life between noon and 3. Maybe I've learned how to live between noon and 1:30. We'll only know as we look back over the course of time. But my question to you right now is this: where are you on the face of the clock dial? And might that positioning demand that you open your eyes to possibilities of secondary income, income hedge, new skill development possibilities and requirements? Where are you on the face of the clock dial? If you're not where you want to be, I can help. Stay tuned to the next segments of 20 Years.